Hi folks, in this lesson I'm going to cover aggregates. Aggregates are mathematical functions that we can use to make queries for values that we want. So let's just watch it in motion. I'm going to use a stores.dump. All these files are in a zip file that are attached to this movie. But I'm going to create a table called stores. It'll have two fields, store and sales. Very simple. The sales is the one that has the integer, 50 characters, and the store is varchar 50. Anyway, I'm going to go and copy all these, and we are going to go right into our local host on MAMP. And I'm going to paste those values, and immediately you see the data. I'll refresh over here, and I'm going to click on stores, and we see when we browse just values. Now remember, this is varchar, this is int. So inside your folder, you have a Word doc called aggregate. And this is sort of a cheat sheet for you. But I'd like to show you what happens when we run queries, okay? So let's, right now, let's start with average, okay? And I'm going to go inside and I'm going to select average, AVG, sales from stores. Okay, so I made that one query, and now I get 687,500, which is great. Now, one thing you can do is go ahead and select average stores or average sales as average from stores. And we'll click go, and we'll get average as the field name. So let's say we wanted to do to just do some experimentation with this. Let's say we wanted to do select AVG sales as average, just like we did before. And let's say we wanted to select multiples. So we do stores or store from stores. This is what I want to show you is the result of this is going to be store Los Angeles, but look at that. The Los Angeles is the one that has the most. And these were all together. So the first value, the 687, is taking into account the two Los Angeleses, but also the San Diego and Boston. So that's inaccurate is what we just grabbed. So if I did average sales from stores where store is equal to Los Angeles, that would be the criteria I would need for Los Angeles. And you see it's 900, which is 1500 plus 300. So that's how average works. And what's interesting about it is it needs an integer, which one might assume it needs a numeric value inside the sales field. Pretty handy, though. So let's say we wanted to return the number of rows without a null value of a column. So what we can do is say select count sales from stores where store equals Boston. I'll click go, and you get 1. And if this were Los Angeles, it would be 2. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in here, and we'll do Los Angeles. So this will take a like with a % as well. There you see the 2. But more than likely, if you're counting records, you wouldn't want to do a like finder because you want specifics. Okay, so that's the count. Now, we can return the number of selected rows. So let's select count, select, and we're going to count, I'm actually going to, select count. Let's count sales from stores where sales is less than 500. So we've got a criterion here that we should grab 2, and there's 2 sales where it's less than 500, and they're correct. So that is an example of count. Now let's say we wanted to count distinct store. Here we go. Count, select count, whoops, I want to do just straight the distinct. Distinct store, whoops, I spelled it wrong. From stores where sales is greater than 700. And this would grab me Los Angeles. And you see that Los Angeles is the only one of these, but let's say we wanted to do, we'll go back and we'll do select distinct store where, store where sales is equal to 300 and also sales is equal to 1500. And that would be, that should be, I have to use the AND keyword, excuse me. And you see there's nothing there. So let's say we wanted to do a distinct store, just distinct store from stores. Oh, I didn't do a from there. Distinct store from stores where the sales are, that double and should work as well. And so we have distinct store from stores where sales equals 300 and also sales equals 1500. If we look back, 1500 and 300, none of these have both, and that's why it doesn't work. But if we do distinct, it'll grab the one value only. So, and when we select multiple, we use distinct with multiple fields, we need to use a group by as well. Okay, so let's go back to the first column of a specified field. So all I'm going to do is do this real easily here. I'll put my link to the SQL box above, and we're going to select first, select, and notice how I haven't been case sensitive with them. Select first store from sales. And even though we see Los Angeles here, watch what happens. Whoops. I'm sorry, from stores. That's the table name. So we're going to select first store from stores. And let me go back to that, the first record of a specific field. First sales. Excuse me. Oops, I forgot first and last are only with MS Access. So that's fine. It's important to know as well. So I'm going to make a little note on that. Actually, I can delete those for your reference, because this is your cheat sheet for MySQL specifically, even though I have SQL Server here. But the last couple I want to show you are the max, min, and sum. So going back to our little tab here, we'll go to this, and I'll open this up above. I like to write the queries right inside so you can see them, but the idea would be select max sales from stores, and that should give us the 1500, and it does. Now what's interesting about that is I can use max on a field that is not an integer. For example, the stores here are a varchar. So I can say something like select max store from stores, and we'll just go ahead and run that, and you shall see that we have San Diego, and it's San Diego because it's alphabetical. So the min would be the same value. So that's an interesting point about applying min and max to varchar fields. Now the last one is sum. So I'm going to select sum sales from stores. So if I hit go now, I should get the sum of all of them, and I do, which is great. Now what happens if I apply that to a varchar? Well, not going to be so good. It's going to be select some store from stores. And we can go ahead and do that, and we get 0 because varchar won't work. But it does not throw an error, which is a bit troubling for us. So if you want, take the stores file. I'm leaving you with not only this cheat sheet, but the stores dump. Now, what is a dump file? Well, a dump file is a file that not only has the table structure, but has some data inside of it. Whereas traditionally a .sql would have the just the table structure. So you have both of these attached to this video, and you can start experimenting with some aggregates. I recommend going into the text right at the point where we're doing the groupings, the grouping selective results, and running these as you need. I think it's also good to go into the text and try their code as well, and run experimental queries on them for practice. Anyway, if there are any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.